Hello, I'm Bill Stevenson, News Director for iFiber One News. We invited 60 candidates from 30 Grant County elections to join us to talk about issues. Not all of them accepted our offer. In this episode, we're going to talk about a candidate who's running for director of the Royal School District. And Micheal Noftle is here to speak with us. His opponent, Ray Valley, declined. How are you doing, Micheal?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Can you start with telling us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to run to represent the school district?
Sure. I've lived in the Royal School District essentially since I graduated from college and moved to the area. My wife's originally from the area. We found it to be a great place where we wanted to raise a family. And as my children became part of the school, I have 5 children, and they're all either been through the school district or currently in the school district. And I felt like I wanted to contribute to take part in helping ensure that we provide for our students. And so I ran last term and was elected. So I'm actually seeking re-election for a second term this time around. And I'm excited about the things that are going on in the district. I think we're on a great path, and I want to stay involved to help see some of those things through.
Thank you. What experiences do you have that you're bringing back for the position with the Royal School District?
Well, I think that a school director is a difficult job. It's not easy. There's difficult decisions to make. Before I was elected for my first term, believe it or not, I had a full head of dark hair. So there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of challenges there, and I think that I've learned through the process. Previously, I was on the city council for Royal City, and through this term as a school director, it's given me the opportunity to make difficult decisions, to seek input, to take the time, to spend the time to explore the issues, and I think that process has really helped me in doing the job.
One of the questions I like to ask is, because as a news service, it's important to us, but can you describe the importance of open government? Well,
open government it's a difficult thing sometimes. A lot of times we really have to be careful about our communications, and there's a reason for that. The democratic process is valid and it's important, and so when we have conversations as school board members, anytime that we can, or let me rephrase that. When we have conversations as school board members, it's important that we give the public an opportunity, not just by law, but by democracy, in my opinion, that they have the opportunity to observe, to listen, and give input when it's appropriate.
All right. Why is education so important?
Well, we have a lot of young children in our community, and it's our job to give them the education they need. The value to that is that they're not going to be children forever. They're going to grow up, they're going to become part of society, whether they stay in Royal City or whether they move on to other places. It's our job as a community to make sure that we're doing everything we can to put out the kind of people that can make a difference. And so as a school board, we play a very big role in that. I think families play the largest role, but I think in terms of opportunity time, influence, and those types of things, I think the school runs a close second on that. So it's really important that we do all the things that we can to help our children reach their potential and become who they can be.
Thank you. What would you say is the best way to improve education overall?
That's a good question.
I try.
You know, there's a lot of theories out there. There's a lot of push from the federal government. There's a lot of local push. I think that probably the thing that improves education best, I think the thing when students have their best educational experience is when they are able to have a good relationship with their teachers. I think we have great teachers and staff in our Royal School District, and I think when they get the opportunity to form a bond with their students and have that strong relationship, I think that's when students respond best. and they have the best opportunity to learn.
All right. What would you say is the most important thing to improve at the school district if you're reelected?
If I'm reelected? Well, like I said, I'm excited about the direction we're going. I think we've got a lot of good things going. I don't think we need to make major shifts necessarily. I would say that the biggest decision that we have before us in the short term is that at the end of this school year, we will be replacing our superintendent. And so that's a big decision that we have as, not just as a board, but as a community, as you know, we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity for their voice to be heard, so that as we make those decisions and choose our next superintendent to lead our district, that that we're on track with what's going to be best for education and for our students.
Would you say replacing the superintendent is the biggest need for the district in the near future, or is there something else?
I would say that's on the list for sure. But I would also say that based on some of the things that are coming at us that we don't have control over, there's some difficult decisions we have to make, such as curriculum, for example. There's so many things coming down that we're supposed to respond to, and we don't always have the resources we need to be able to live up to those, to live up to what we're asked to do. For example, with Common Core, and you may get into this a little bit more, but the problem with that is there's all these great standards, but we're lacking on the curriculum available that meets those. Those types of things where the resources, we have a finite amount of resources, and we have to allocate those resources the best way we can. And so I think that's probably right up there as big as anything, is how we allocate those resources and meet the demands that are being kind of pressed upon us a little bit.
How do you feel about standardized testing with that, what you just said in mind?
Well, okay, so I don't necessarily have a problem with standardized testing. I think we do way too much of it in the state of Washington. I think we over-test. I think that we get to the point where teachers don't always have the ability to teach in the most effective way because they feel overburdened by the task of always having to prepare for a specific test. And it's not just a specific test. There's multiple tests that are, you know, kind of handed down that we have to put our students through. Like I said, in its basic form, I don't have a problem with standardized testing. I think it gives us a chance to see kind of how we're doing, what kind of progress we're making. But I'm not sure that it should determine graduation and some of those types of things. That I think it has its place. I think at times we give it more value than it should, more power than it should.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers your question, but
it was yours to answer, not a problem. You had mentioned Common Core.
Sure.
I'd like to get back to that. So what do you think about Common Core?
Essentially, I struggle with the thought that the federal government knows what's best for us in our local communities. And so in that way, I kind of struggle with the idea of the process of Common Core, in that it is something at the federal level that's handed down to the most local levels. And as we're implementing it now, you know, there's a lot of wild things you hear about Common Core. I haven't seen those things. I'm on the lookout for them, but I haven't seen those things. So, but basically, I think at the state and local level, we have a better feel for our communities and a better chance to make the decisions and provide the things that are going to best help our students.
Oh.